It is Monday, July 28th, and it is almost 9 a.m. And I'm just going to walk through what my priorities are this week. So let me know in the comments how your week is planned out and what your priorities are this week and how extension season is going for you. So for me this week, let's just recap kind of what has already been completed. So if we look here, completed tax returns for the 2025 calendar year, which is filing of 2024 tax returns, 1040 tax returns. We have completely finished 316 returns, which is 82% of our total. And we have completely finished 26 business tax returns, the vast majority of those being S corporations, which is just about 60% of our business tax returns. In process, returns that we are currently working on and trying to get out the door, 1040s, 26 tax returns, and business returns, 11. And then waiting on information from the client. Either we have sent them follow-up, so it is pretty much done, but we're waiting on a K1. That's about 12 to 15 tax returns of that 42 that we are basically waiting on a K1 from some partnership. And then business returns, there are 7. So this could be, again, it could be a follow-up question where the return is fairly completed, but we're just waiting on a little bit more information, or it could be that the client just hasn't gotten us anything at all. On the 1040s, like I said, about 15 of those are K1s. A few of those are other follow-up questions that we're waiting on, and then maybe 15 to 20 of those we just haven't gotten anything from the client yet, and we'll follow up with them soon. So this is where we are. We are 82% and 60% of the way completely finished with tax returns. Our focus this week, my focus will be on these returns. These are all on my plate. So those 26 tax returns, I think 22 to 24 of them are in the review process for me to work on. And then the 11 business returns, I do all of those from start to finish. So those are all on my plate as well. The priority for this week will be those 11 business tax returns. Now, I don't think that I can get out 11 business tax returns in 1 week. Again, they're in various stages. So hopefully I can get several of those out. But that is my priority focus. And then following that is those 1040 tax returns, getting those 26 tax returns out the door. Now, if you're anything like me, after tax season, things really go downhill in terms of efficiency. There's a lot of other things to work on. And there's a lot of other things pulling for your attention. There's things in the firm that need to be improved before we go into next tax season. So this just isn't, vacation and personal stuff. There's that mixed in as well. So I'm not working as many hours every week. It's more kind of 35 to 40 hours a week. Although lately it's been more like 45 hours a week, just working on various things that I'm trying to prioritize and get in before next tax season. But yeah, there's improvements, there's tweaks, there's changes. There's a massive new tax bill. Actually, it's law. It's not a bill. So there's new tax law that we have to get up to date on. And so there's just a ton of things to focus on outside of tax season. And the efficiency in terms of number of returns that are getting completed every week definitely goes down. So this week's calendar, today is pretty open, but I am looking through the new tax bill. I've already taken continuing education on this, but I'm also preparing for a recording of just a podcast with a financial advisor friend of mine today, where we are talking about changes from the OB3, OBBBA, whatever you want to call it, the new tax law. We're talking through that and the changes and the implications and kind of what changed and dispelling some of the myths that are out there and the false information that's going around. So I'm prepping for that and then recording that this afternoon, and in between kind of prepping for it and then the recording this afternoon, I'll be working on some tax returns. Tomorrow is a wide open day to focus on tax returns. And then Wednesday, I'm taking the whole day off. My son turned 11. My youngest son turned 11 a couple of weeks ago. And for his present, he wanted to go to Universal Epic Universe, which just opened up this a couple months ago. And so all day Wednesday, I will be at Universal Epic Universe with him for his 11th birthday. On Thursday, that is another wide open day to focus on tax returns and getting those out the door. And then Friday is pretty much wide open as well, with the exception of a phone call or a a group Zoom call with other tax firm owners from 1 to 2:30. And we will be talking about our favorite topic, the new tax law, OB3. And that's going to be an interactive call where it's not just a one-way webinar going through updates, but I'll be providing some updates and some of the truth of what's in the bill and kind of talking about some of the rumors that are out there that just aren't true and the false information that's going around. But this is also going to be interactive. It's going to be talking to other firm owners about what are their clients asking about? What do they think the biggest impact of this is? How do they think this is going to impact the industry and the complexity of tax returns and the pricing of tax work? And the ability and new strategies that will come out of this. So that is going to be a highly interactive call where each tax firm owner has an opportunity to share, and it's going to be a discussion. And so that's what I really love about the calls that I host each month, is that it's not just one way, me talking to a bunch of people out there listening with their cameras off and their mics muted, but it is a conversation, it's connection, it's relationship. It's doing this firm owner life together in community with other people. And so really looking forward to that call on Friday. But that's it for me. That is the week of July 28th, 2025. Plenty of time this week to really focus on getting a lot of extensions out. So I'm hoping that these numbers, let's take another quick look at these numbers, because I'm hoping that these go down. I'm hoping this slide, completed returns, goes up pretty significantly between now and when I do this video next week, and that these in-process ones go down. And then once those go down, I'll really start to hit on the folks that I'm waiting on information from and just send them reminders and try to get that information in so that we're not pushed for the deadline. But we're almost into August, and these 18 business returns have to be completed by September 15th. So again, drop in the comments, let me know what you're working on this week, and look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks for watching.